Hey there, it's Beth from Rock Your Notebook, and I'm just going to show you a really quick watercolor spread in my A5 Watercolor Traveler's Notebook. I'm using elements from Calico Collage because her elements are just perfect for creating journal pages and mixed media art, and I absolutely love them. So I used the Shimmers sprays for this page, and I think I used some liquid watercolor as well. And you can see I sprayed the entire page with the blue and the gray, and I do not remember which shimmers these are, but I will leave the colors down below in the description box. And I sprayed them and then dried everything so that I could go ahead and come back and create a darker layer. And the only way to do that with watercolors is to dry your first layer and then come back in with more color and create a darker layer by covering basically your first layer. It's late, and that's not the way I wanted to describe that. But here I'm using some PH Martin's Hydra watercolor, and then I went back in with the sprays, and that gave me this completely different look because before the page looked really light, and then I splattered the PH Martin watercolor everywhere, and I love the effect that I ended up getting with the water, and it just kind of organically spreading out on the page. It really made me happy with the way that turned out. And I think doing things like this and being creative and just playing with your mediums and your art and seeing what happens is the best way to get better when it comes to art journaling and mixed media and learning a different medium. I've been playing and using watercolors for quite some time now, and I'm still not even close to being a professional or even remotely close to like professional status with watercolors. So here I'm cutting out pieces from Calico Collage, and then I'm distressing this tag. It didn't quite turn out the way I had wanted it to. I printed it on cardstock that was stiffer than I normally use by accident. So the edges didn't rough up the way I wanted them to. It didn't get that crinkly look when I sprayed water and crumbled it on there like I wanted it to. It didn't do what I wanted, but I dealt with it and just ran with it. In the end, I'm happy with this spread, and I'm happy with this washi tape is everything. And most of it gets covered up, but I like the greens and the colors peeking through from behind the tag. The tag needed something to ground it to the page. Otherwise, I just felt like the tag was floating on the page. So everything was stuck down with some Fabri-Tac. And then you see me coming back in with some more sprinkles again. And those sprinkles are not going to, splatters are not going to move because everything else is already dry. And then I'm going to come in with some Tim Holtz word stickers, and I think they weren't working for me. So I went to a Tim Holtz stamp set, and I'm going to use some Versamark and stamp it there. And then I'm going to use my silver Altenew embossing powder. And I love this embossing powder. It is by far the best embossing powder I have ever used before in my life. So then I wanted to play with the other Shimmers colors that I had just recently gotten, and you can see I literally finished that and then flipped the page over to the next page, and I'm using the pinks, and I'm going to use some of the blues that came with this, and I'm literally just playing. So water, lots of water, lots of color, and I'm just going for it. In the middle there, I'm taking my brush and I'm drying it to the best of my ability, and then kind of mopping up the paint that's going into the middle of the notebook. And then here I am with some of this blue shimmers watercolor that came with, that I had recently gotten. And literally that's all I'm doing. I'm literally just playing. I'm going to do some doodles. I'm going to cut some words up from another Calico Collage kit. And then I end up with 2 pages in a matter of like 20 minutes probably that I spent on all this, but that I can come back and journal on later. Sometimes with my watercolor notebooks, I come back and I journal on them later. Sometimes I don't. It really just depends on my mood, but I'm really, really happy with the way both of these spreads turned out. I did pick up the wrong pencil here. I didn't pick up my Stabilo Marxall. It was like a charcoal pencil. So I didn't get the movement that I wanted and the border that I wanted, but it's okay. It happens. Alrighty, I'm going to leave you off here with some photos of everything. If you like this traveler's notebook insert that I'm working on, it is in my shop. It is an A5 sized watercolor traveler's notebook, and you can check that out at rockyournotebook.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.